Hey, good day, everyone. My name is Toby. I'm with Amplico Marketing. We're a digital marketing agency based in Cleveland. And today I want to talk to you about online reputation management. Probably a term that you may or may not have heard before, but it basically talks about your rankings and ratings and all those stars that you see online when people try to Google your company. And you may have a great rating, you may have a poor rating, you may have no rating, and that's okay. I just wanted to go through and tell you a little bit about a story that we had in building our own reputation, and how it may have begun much like what yours is. So, uh, wanted to get into it a little bit. Our story. Um, who are we? First of all, that's me on the left. My name's Toby, and that's my wife on the right. And we are former owners of a children's enrichment company for 14 years in the Ohio and Michigan area, and did really well. Actually, we just recently sold that company to a longstanding employee, and we have moved on, and we're now doing marketing. We have a marketing agency now, and we are both marketing and technology professionals, so that's kind of our sweet space. And we did that really well for the enrichment company. It's probably why the summer camp grew so well. But I wanted to share with you something that we really didn't pay attention to a long time, and then found out the hard way. We faced a problem along the way. So our company was founded in 2007, and right about 10 years later, I don't remember if it was 2007 or 2017 or 2018, but we got a bad Google review, which today, if that happened to us, it wouldn't really matter. But back then, it really did, because we didn't have any other Google reviews. We just had this one lonesome little one-star Google review, and it had one star. One star. Anyways, that was not a great thing. We were kind of um, surprised by it, and so we immediately went into trying to investigate who left this review and why did they leave it, because um, we didn't hear of any customers having any ill will or bad experiences with some programming that we had. This is a time when we were also doing after school programs as well as summer camps in the enrichment space for kids. And we didn't receive any information from it. We didn't even see anything on our surveys, because we would run surveys for people as well too. And we interviewed staff. We The name of the person who reviewed it, they just had initials, like it was HB or something like that. So we're looking for anybody that has initials HB. We couldn't find anybody. Um, so we're looking through emails, we're talking to staff. Where did this weird review come from? Did they even, maybe they accidentally left a review for us and it wasn't even our company. We didn't know. So this went on, I want to say, for um, probably a full week. And the way we found the person that left the review was by searching their review history. And we noticed that they had 3 or 4 total reviews. There was obviously the 1 star review that they left for us. There was another 1 star review for a, um, I'll call it a mobile home manufacturer in Indiana. I don't know if they basically make really fancy mobile homes and RVs and stuff like that in Indiana. And they left a nasty review for them as well too. Theirs was actually worse than the one they left for us. Uh, and I don't remember what other reviews they had, but we called up that RV company, mobile home company, and we started doing a little bit of cross referencing, because they too were confused. Who was this HB person, and why did they leave a review? And so we We looked at some recent people who we suspected. I think we narrowed it down to maybe about 10 people based on some indications of some information that they left in the Google review. And sure enough, there was a common person. And their initials were not HB. It was like HG or something. It was too far off that we would have been able to find it without doing this cross-referencing. But we found out who it was. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter who that person was. We spent all this time trying to figure it out, but it didn't matter who they were because we could not change the review online. Google does not give you a way to do that. Some other review sites might. I know, for example, Yelp, there's some things that they can do, and Better Business Bureau has their own way. But basically, if you have to pay them for a service in order to start working on that. Google has no such thing. So we couldn't change the review. The review was going to be there forever. And we had to look forward as to what we were going to do with this 1-star review. We wanted to stop it from repeating again, so we knew that we needed to put a system in place for that not to happen. We needed to get reviews, basically. And the approach was we were going to drown out this 1-star review by putting in all of these other good reviews, right? After all, we have like over 10 years worth of customers. I mean, we have a lot. We have over 10,000 families, definitely, that we have worked with over the years. But we didn't want to kind of go out and throw an alarm up in the air. This all happened, by the way, during the springtime when we are taking registrations for summer camp, which is our busiest time of the year. We did not want to enter this 1-star review to have a negative impact. So what we want to do is build a system in place and identify who are our promoters for our camp. So people who love us, who are taking our internal surveys and saying we're doing a great job, and then somehow translate that into a review that potential customers can see online. That was the piece that we did not have in place. We did all these surveys, but we did not have a way to give the results of the surveys to new prospects and leads. And we wanted to automate this process. We learned some things along the way. And some of this data you'll find on the internet from Qualtrics and other places, but 93% of customers read online reviews. I'm guessing that you probably know that that's a high number already. You probably didn't know it was 93, nor did I. I didn't know it was 93%. But that's what it is, based on statistics that companies have done. We also have found that customers are willing to spend 31% more on businesses that have excellent reviews. So it's a trust factor. There's an entire industry on the internet, like Trustpilot and others, that capitalize on how to build trust so that your customers spend more. So we know that. That matters. Having a good review online matters. A good reputation. Online customer reviews increase your ranking in organic local search results by 6.5%. There's a whole side presentation and discussion I could have on this. But if you're working with Bing Places for Business or Google My Business, which is now called Google Business, if you post on those websites, that also increases your local search ranking. But having a good review or frequent reviews, that also helps. And your job applicants, people that are trying to learn about your company, if they don't know who you are, and chances are they don't. They want to know what customers think of you, and they're also going to look at places like Glassdoor to see what they will also, other people who have worked there have reviewed it. Yeah, so reviews come from a lot of different areas. 3 negative reviews can decrease likelihood to purchase by almost 60%. That's a no-brainer. I can't tell you the number of times I've been on Amazon, find some weird off the wall, I have no idea who this company is making this product that I'm very unfamiliar with. But if I see too many negative reviews, I'm going on to the next listing. And that's going to happen with you and other companies as well too. Unhappy customers are 3 times more likely to leave a negative review than happy customers are to leave a positive review. And boy, that's true for my company as well too. I never asked for a review ever, and I got a couple good reviews on Facebook or other places. Yelp, I think I had two on Yelp at the time. And then when we got over to Google reviews, nobody was leaving Google reviews. I don't know, just didn't seem natural for some reason. And that's when we got the one bad review. So a lot of happy customers just didn't ever translate into leaving a review. And then I know myself, if I have a real bad experience, I'm compelled to do something. And I know my customers are going to be the same way. But if I have a great experience, I don't know why, but I don't go out and say something about it. Human nature, I guess. But in order to drown out that bad review, you have to have a lot of good reviews. So, for example, if you got a 1-star review and you're trying to get somewhere in the 4.5 to 5-star review of a 5-star system, you're going to have to leave 10 more reviews, 12 more reviews that are positive, 5 stars, just to balance that out, to give you a good overall ranking. So, yeah. We also know that when reviews are left by customers, 89% of consumers read those business responses when a business does respond. It's a great opportunity to show that you're listening, that you're heartfelt. So we learned that we needed to thank customers for their feedback when it was good, and it was bad, we needed to ask them if we could take that offline and try to find out more about their situation and if there was something we can do to make it right. We also had to make sure that we were not emotional. I know it doesn't say it on the slide here, but it's very easy to want to just bite back. And usually you need to have time, especially if you're too connected to the business to be able to respond. If you're the owner, give it some time. Make sure that your message is on brand. The tone is correct. I mentioned earlier that there's a lot of different sites out there, and these are just a few. But the general sites, the one that affected us a lot was Google Business, or Google My Business. It's the same thing. We don't have any presence on Bing Places. It's not an area that we focused on. But we also had Facebook. We seemed to have a lot of reviews that started, people wanted to leave reviews on Facebook for a summer camp company. So those were the two. And then we had a couple on Yelp. But even when we presented people with Yelp, I want to get into what we did for our fix here in a moment. But for our business, Google Business, Facebook, and Yelp were the top 3, with Yelp a distant third. The other ones didn't apply to us. But you'll have industry-specific ones. If you're in a hotel or hospitality industry, you're definitely going to be looking at TripAdvisor. Airbnb has their own. You've got Angie's List. That's not even on here. Wedding Planner for that specific industry. YouTube has its own comments and thumbs up, thumbs down system, liking. So all of these review sites are out there. And while you may want to be ambitious and try to do all of them, you should focus on the ones that are most appropriate for your company. How we fixed it. Okay, so I kind of did a little bit of a lead in earlier. You may know some of these things based on what I was saying earlier, but our very first, right after we got our bad review, is we needed to stop the bleed. And the way to do that is to identify regular customers that you already have a very strong relationship with and you know that they love you. And ask them if they would do a review for you. That immediately will start to get that rating back up, and it will also push the other rating down a little bit. Now, in our situation with Google, Google likes to have one bad review sitting up at the top. So no matter what we did, it seemed to always percolate up to the top, but the overall ranking was looking better. The second thing that we needed to do was build a process that was going to continue to let us have good reviews in the future, ones that we were not focusing on up until this point. The way we did it is by using a survey that we already had. And if you don't have this, I would recommend you do this for your company. There's going to be a point in which your customer is fulfilled. It may be when they receive a product. In my case, with a summer camp, it's the last day of summer camp. And we had an automated email that would go out to the parent and ask them how their camp was. It's a survey, and it was a pretty short survey. And our survey actually had a reward. We did a raffle on everybody that filled out the survey for an Amazon gift card. And it doesn't have to be a lot. I think ours was $50. So, but it's just another way to thank people for filling out a survey. They get a chance to win that $50 card. And in this survey was one particular question that was an NPS question. NPS is Net Promoter Score. And if you're unfamiliar with it, I know you've seen it before. You've seen it 100 times from companies. Usually comes in the form of just one solitary question through email. And it says from 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend our products and services to your friends and family? And all you fill out, you click the button. It's from 1 to 10, okay? And the Net Promoter Score is you are considered a detractor if they filled that. If the answer to it is from 1 to 6, 9, 10 is the top. 7, 8, so 6. So 1 to 6 or 0 to 6, you are a detractor. If you score a 9 or a 10, then you're a promoter. And then the people that answered 7 or 8, they're indifferent. There's a word for it, but they're not counted towards the overall. If they're a detractor or promoter. A detractor is going to actively go out of their way to tell people that your company stinks. And people that fill out 9 or 10, they're a promoter. They're going to do the opposite, and they're going to tell everybody that your company is really great and they recommend it. So what you want to do is have one of your questions be an NPS question to identify if they are a promoter or not. And you'll see that term come up later in one of these slides. But this survey gives customers a voice to identify problems. Remember, you are the only person that sees this survey. This survey is sent out. It comes back to you. It doesn't go out to the world. It is your intermediary step to know if the person that's filling out the survey is somebody that's going to leave a good review or not. That's what you're trying to identify. The other thing that you're trying to identify is if you have a problem with your company, your processes. And that's another thing. You want to figure those out, fix them so that you have more satisfied customers. That's going to help you overall. But as far as online reputation management, it's critical in your survey that you identify the promoters. And once you know who those promoters are, send out another email to them inviting them to review you online. Make it really easy for them though. In your email, make sure you have a link that they can click on that takes them right to the page where they can leave a review. Do not make your customer go find you online to leave the review. Make it very easy for them to do. And make sure you get this email out to everybody that was identified as a promoter. And automate it. Step 4, automate. So for us, it was easy to automate. And I'm sure that there's a good chance it's easy to automate for you as well. For us, when the survey email goes out, we happen to use Gravity Forms on the WordPress platform. And Gravity Forms has a feature in it where you can say, if this logic, which for us was if the NPS score was 9 or 10, please send an email to that customer. In other words, another field in that survey was, what's your email address? We actually sent it to that email address of the person that filled it out, saying, thank you so much for filling out the survey. One last thing, if you wouldn't mind, parents want to know about your experience. Would you please review us online on either Google, Facebook, or Yelp? And the words Google, Facebook, and Yelp were hyperlinked so they could go right to the place that they would go on those platforms to review us. And our results, these are real results for our company. We went from having absolutely no Google reviews, remember, except for that one bad one that was sitting out by its lonesome, to having over 50 5-star reviews every summer since. We also have had no more 1-star reviews, but we are fully prepared if something happens and we have it, it's going to be a small blip on the radar if we happen to have a complaint. We don't want to have a lot of complaints. We don't want to have any complaints. But if we do, it is not going to hurt our online reputation. These reviews are fantastic for our prospects and leads who are evaluating who we are. Gives them more confidence to buy from us. And it also gives them more confidence to buy more from us, meaning that instead of just coming in and taking a morning camp, maybe they'll sign up for a whole day camp, right? Double the amount of sale that we have for that client. And so that's a recap basically of what our summer camp business did. Remember, that's the company that we owned before this marketing agency. So I wanted to just share that with you. I'd love to be able to brainstorm some ideas with your company. See if we can give you some ideas on how to build your own reputation. If you're sitting right now with a 1-star review or a 2-star review out there and you're trying to figure out what to do, this slide deck will give you an idea. But if you want to actually talk to somebody about it, please come to us. I'd love to give you a free 30-minute consult, discuss your business and what we might suggest that you can do. Or if you're looking for somebody to help you with it, we'd love to do that too. So come visit us. Website's on the slide right here, amplicomarketing.com. My name is Toby, and I really appreciate you listening. Please, oh yeah, this is YouTube. I'm supposed to tell you to like and subscribe. Talk to you soon.